just talking a little bit about the inspiration of the book. A book takes ages and ages. It takes years to write. Gestation time of this book has been like 20 years. I've always wanted to write about Trinidad. In 2001, my mother told me a story. I think I was chopping vegetables in the kitchen, and she said, "Oh, well, you know, when we came here, all we had was 2 suitcases and a green bicycle." She hadn't told me this story before, and I was like, "You brought a bike all the way from England, 6 weeks on a boat? What were you thinking of? It was crazy." And also, in the Caribbean or in Trinidad, it's not like the Netherlands. We don't see hundreds of people around on their bikes. Just the image stuck in my head, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and then I literally wrote down the white woman on the green bicycle, and put it on a piece of paper and stuck it in my file of facts, and then it just cooked. That prior to arriving, I think I might have been writing a romance, just a love story, or it might have been quite nostalgic or historical, or it was certainly a love story, but I don't know, a historical romance. I'm not sure what I would have written. But when I arrived in Trinidad, the book just became very different. Above Port of Spain was floating, not floating, it was like patrolling the city, was this big, what we call a blimp, like a zeppelin. Do you know what I mean? It didn't look very Caribbean to me, it looked very sinister. It was like a big George Orwell, Big Brother type thing, pottering around. And people used to laugh at it because in Trinidad we were having like a murder a day, and people would say, where was the blimp now? What happened? You know, it didn't catch them. So the book isn't a nice love story. It's a very political book, and it's a love story. 2 colonials who didn't really know what they were coming to, and they come on a boat. It's 1956. This was a really, really optimistic time for Trinidad. The PNM, a new political party, was just literally being launched, and interestingly enough, I've mixed biographical material with fiction, and some of my family's personal story with total fiction and historical fact. And my parents did arrive in Trinidad in January 1956. In the same month, Eric Williams did launch the PNM, People's National Movement. So I felt huge compassion for him, and I'm very, very interested in him. He was an all-rounder. He played cricket and he played football, and he was a teacher and he was a good speaker. He was the kind of man who could have done anything. He didn't have to go into politics. And what I understand is he had 3 wives. He was very good with women. He was very good with people. And he was short and he was deaf. I don't know if anyone's seen him. He wasn't a handsome man, but he was very charismatic. There was a strong odour of musk, of bodies steaming. The crowd spilled onto the road, and I couldn't get through, round, or past. I trailed my toes on the ground so I could walk the bike. "Father! Father!" a woman was shouting. "What's going on?" I dared to ask an old woman. "Dr. Williams is speaking." Hundreds of people, the townspeople, were crushed around the elevated bandstand in the centre of the park. Eric Williams gazed out at the crowd, nodding. A discerning smile spread across his face. "Nor are we an ordinary party. A mobilization," Eric Williams proclaimed, "of all the forces in the community, cutting across race and religion, class and colour, hence our name, the People's National Movement."
It's still exciting, and I found it really musical as well, and the rhythm of carnivals there. And with the politics, I saw Mandela and I saw Mugabe in Eric Williams. I think it's, okay, they've made mistakes, but I don't think it's all their fault in the terms of, if you look at
complicated
exactly after colonialism, it's like a legacy that they're doomed to fail. They try their best to change the systems, but the systems, their political systems
they inherited was corrupt.
Exactly.